What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing news. The WBC has chosen to fine Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. $10,000, and they're asking him to enter rehab. For those of you who don't know, in his last fight, a urine sample was collected, and he tested positive as having marijuana in his system. This is what he had to say regarding the matter. Any explanation or justification that I try to give about the recent events will be of no use. That is why I want to say I am totally responsible of my actions, as well as the consequences thereof. I want to apologize to all the people who felt offended by my actions. I made them, and only I should face the consequences. He continued by saying, I can say that I will come out of this, and it will help me become stronger. I will do my best to change. This begins a new stage in my career. I will train towards achieving new targets, one of which is without a doubt the rematch with Sergio Martinez. As far as my opinion, personally, I don't buy it. This is not the first time Chavez Jr. has been in trouble. In 2009, he tested positive for having a diuretic in his system, another banned substance. And in the Andy Lee training camp, he got a DUI, and now most recently, he tested positive as having marijuana in his system during perhaps the biggest fight of his career. So it really just sounds like a young fighter who's immature and can't stay out of trouble. And it just so happens that it seems to be at the worst possible times. A DUI during the Andy Lee training camp. Even though he beat him, that's still not a good look. Because what if you didn't beat him, or if it took longer to beat him? And it actually did take longer for him to beat Andy Lee than it did other opponents. You know what I mean? So either way, it's not a good look to get a DUI. I mean, anything in the public eye, you're under a microscope. So with Chavez Jr., I just don't believe it. Listen to what he's saying. I will do my best to change. That doesn't sound really convincing. I will do my best, as opposed to making a more conclusive statement. And then he's also saying, I want to apologize to all the people who felt offended by my actions. I made them, and only I should face the consequences. Like, no shit, only you should face the consequences. What do you want, me to face the consequences for you smoking a blunt? Is Sergio Martinez supposed to face the consequences? Like, get out of here. I feel his purse was at stake. He earned $3 million in this fight, and his purse is at stake. They could have fined him the whole amount if they wanted to. So what do you do when you're in the hot seat and you need to get out of hot water? You say whatever you think they want to hear. I mean, perfect example, when I was a kid, me and my sister would get in a fight. My sister would run and tell my parents, and then when my parents confronted me, they would say, hey, did you kick your sister? And I'd be like, yeah. And they're like, you need to apologize to her. And I would apologize to her. Not that I was genuinely sorry, but I would apologize just because I wanted to go back outside. I wanted to hurry up and move past this and get beyond this so I could go back out and play or not get in further trouble. So there's a difference between apologizing because you honestly feel guilty for what you did and apologizing because you got caught. In this situation, based on his pattern of getting in trouble, it just leads me to believe that he's more or less, he knows the potential penalties of his actions, and it was at a dumb time. So it sounds like more or less he's saying what is needed to get out of hot water based on his statement. But apparently the WBC had other thoughts, and they only fined him $10,000. And that money's going to an institution for children with cancer. It's a really light sentence if you think about it. $3 million, 1% of $3 million would be $30,000. So that's less than 1% of his salary is being fined. Not a math whiz, but that's about 0.34, 0.35% of his purse, and clearly less than 1%. That's less than half of 1%. So it's a really light punishment. I'm not saying they should have took the whole 3 mil, but I mean, damn. This is his third time getting in trouble in recent memory, second time testing positive. It just goes to show you in America, sometimes based on your namesake or who you are, you can dodge a lot of bullets and get out of a lot of trouble. Look at Paris Hilton. In 2010, she had cocaine that was found on her, and that's a felony. And she reached some kind of plea agreement that gave her 1 year probation, and she dodged a bullet and didn't have to go to jail or anything. So it just goes to show you, I think because of who he is, he's the son of a Mexican boxing legend, a boxing legend. he's able to have less lenient penalties. Here's a perfect story for you guys. In 2000, Mike Tyson fought Andrew Galata, and he beat Andrew Galata in Michigan. Prior to the fight, they tried to collect a urine sample from Tyson, and he refused. But somehow, some way, at the end of the fight, after the fight ended, they were able to coax him and collect that urine sample from him. When they did their analysis and the test came back, it showed that Mike Tyson had marijuana in his system as well. So what did the Michigan State Commission do? Well, they suspended his license for 90 days in Michigan, and he was fined $5,000 for refusing to take the test. Even though eventually he took the test, the fact that he refused to initially take it, he was charged $5,000. And at that particular point in Tyson's career, I don't have any exact figures, so don't quote me on this, but I don't even know if he would have made $3 million off of the Andrew Galata fight, because that was a past prime Tyson, and he wasn't as marketable at that particular moment. So I don't even know if he earned as much in that fight as Chavez Jr. fight, and he paid half of what Chavez Jr. was fined, because Chavez Jr. was fined $10,000 and Tyson was fined $5,000. On top of that, his license was suspended. Even though it was only 3 months, it was still suspended, whereas Chavez Jr., his license is not being suspended. So, I just feel Chavez Jr., he's a young kid. He just needs to mature up and realize boxing is a highly disciplined sport, and you got to take it serious, because if you don't, there's always someone who's younger or faster or stronger that is willing to put in the work in the gym or whatever the case is. Chavez Jr. on 24/7, he had pothead tendencies. I mean, waking up at 5 p.m. and 6 p.m., and the first thing you do is you go eat some cereal. People are talking to you. You don't seem like you're even focused on what they're saying. And just overall, he seemed like slow, just like slow the way he moves. He's not a fast fighter. He's not a speed demon by any means, but just his mannerisms, he seemed like slow, and that's not good. And I know some of you guys are going to put dumbass comments like legalize it and you support marijuana. I don't personally care, but at the same time, it's different for a professional athlete. This is their job. This is what they get paid. They get paid to entertain and to fight. And it's no different than if I had a job at Home Depot and I'm driving a forklift and I crash into some of a wall or something, and I damage a wall. They're going to drug test me. And when that drug test comes back, if I had marijuana in my system, bet your last dollar that I'll get fired from that job. There's no saving me. They're going to be like, okay, one, you damaged our equipment, and now you're being terminated because you have marijuana in your system. So it's just funny how, based on who you are, you have the possibility to get away with murder. And in the sport, that's just the way it goes. Chavez Jr. fined $10,000 out of $3 million, and he's not being suspended on his second occurrence. So these are my thoughts. Subscribe, comment, hate. Let me know what you guys think. And till next video, it's Ego signing out. Peace.